Okay, I think we are recording. So, welcome to Team Call, Team Dynasty. Today is Wednesday, May 23rd. There are a couple announcements that Scotty wanted me to kind of go over really quick, and then I will introduce our guest speaker. I'm super excited about today's topic. So, the first announcement that he wanted me to make revolves around Summit. So, for those of you that are not familiar with what Summit is, or even if you are and you're not registered, be sure to go to coachsummit.com and check all of that goodness out. Regardless of how new or how old of a coach you are, Summit is for everybody, and it will actually be held this coming month in June from the 21st through the 24th in Indianapolis. So that is coachsummit.com. Be sure you hop on over there and get registered as soon as possible. And actually, I think that there's still a discounted price on tickets through the end of May. So you have about 8 days left for that. The next thing that he wanted me to mention is that Team Call next week on May 30th will actually be at 7 p.m. Pacific time, which I think, correct me if I'm wrong, is 8 p.m. Mountain Time, 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. East Coast Time. And it will actually be led by Brigitte Limford, and Joel Freeman will be on that call talking about the new Lift 4 program. So definitely not one that you want to miss. And then the last thing that he wanted me to mention is actually something that I will be doing next week for all of Team Dynasty. It's something that I do with my team on a weekly basis, and it's called Emerald in 24 Hours. And it's just like a 30-minute, I have like 5 or 6 slides that I show to do just that, get to Emerald in 24 hours. So I will post a call link and a reminder in the Team Dynasty page next Monday, and that will be on Tuesday, so May 29th at 7 p.m. Central Time. And it is just, like I said, a 20 or 30-minute call. I have about 5 or 6 slides. So any of your PS coaches or your PS coaches who have not gotten to Emerald yet, it's just a really kind of fun way to hype up Emerald and to really just put a few kind of key principles into place to help them get to Emerald within 24 hours so that they can be recognized on Thursday's recognition next week. So those are all of the announcements. And like I said, I'll post a reminder about that in the Team Dynasty page next week. But now for the real reason why you're here, our guest speaker, let me pull up her bio because she has lots of goodies to describe her. So Jolie McLeod, I don't know if I'm saying that right, I'm sorry, 43-year-old mom and a 5-star diamond coach who has been in the business since August of 2016, so almost 2 years, and she's hit Success Club 10 every single month since starting, which obviously makes her a Success Club starter. She hit Emerald within 24 hours of starting the business, which is super cool. And then she hit Diamond in less than 90 days of starting her business. So she also spoke on the National Wake Up Call 6 months into the business. And she's a retired yoga teacher and personal trainer who's been married for 16 years. And she has 2 kids. And she is going to be sharing with us why she wanted to quit, why you will want to quit, why you shouldn't quit, and why she didn't quit. So I'm going to go on ahead and pass the mic over to her.
Hey guys, I know that's a weird topic, right? It's kind of like the thing nobody wants to talk about. And let me clarify that. It was never in my vocabulary ever in life to quit anything, but I think we can all agree that we run up against walls in life and in this business. And it was more of a decision of am I going to quit and like cancel my coach account, but more, am I going to be like a wallflower and hobby at this, or if I'm going to really go for this? And so just a little bit about me. Thank you for the warm introduction. And I'm also going to say that I'm nervous, and as I start to talk, I get less nervous. So I appreciate all y'all's smiling faces. So 19 months ago, even before that, I had been asked several times to be a Beachbody coach. And I was very ego-driven at that time and was super snobbish about Beachbody. I thought that, everybody needed to come directly to me to get results, either to my yoga classes or hire me as a personal trainer. And so, in all honesty, I saw it as a threat to my business. And so, after talking to people in the industry that had been asking me to be a coach, And I'm going to say some key words in my story that I will want y'all to think of these key words later, and I'll tie it back in at the end. But these people made assumptions because I look fit, and made assumptions that I didn't need this for myself. And how often do you make assumptions when you're inviting people? And I still do to this day, almost 2 years into doing this. And so my coach posted her transformation on social media. So keyword transformation, and she was super consistent at it. And I trusted her. And so their trust was built because we were friends before all of this. So some of the people that were asking me to coach, the trust wasn't there. And the trust had already been built because she was my friend. She was a yoga teacher, personal trainer. We had so much in common. And so really the forming didn't happen because we had a relationship. And then, so I reached out to her and said, I want to try what you're doing. I want to, get some of this weight that's crept up on me since I don't have time to run as much. And I literally looked at her and said, if you ask me to ever coach, I'll never be your F-bomb friend again. She has screenshotted that and loves to post it on our team page to remind people when people are running up against the walls with inviting and people say they don't want to do this. And so I was the one. So this is a huge part of my story. She met me where I was and was like, I know, girl, I hear you. You're just going to love this. It's going to be a great way to lose that weight. So I told her what I needed. She told me how I was going to satisfy that need. I didn't push anymore. And so I was a total jerk challenger. Like I took forever to finish the link. I call that area, like when you go from start to end, the middle area, I call that purgatory. I was purgatory challenger for like, I don't know, a week. And so she kept on reminding me to purchase it. So that was another key part. She kept on reminding me. And I finally, click to buy. And then so I was a jerk challenger. I did not really post that much into the group. And I would slide. She used the My Challenge Tracker app. I have to use gallery view. It screws me up if I'm looking at my face too much. And so I wasn't sharing with the group. I would just post so she would see that I was doing the workouts, but wasn't sharing anything. And it was born out of ego still, because I didn't want people in the group to know that I was doing this, because I knew a lot of the people, the challengers in the group. And a week into my challenge, my husband looked at me, and there's a backstory there. My marriage was really suffering before all of this. My husband looked at me and said, I feel like I have my wife back. And I mean, we all know what it feels like to finally take care of ourselves. I don't care where you are in your stage of life, how it just changes you from the inside out. And so I came to the whole thing, and she met me where I was to lose like 10 pounds. And so much more happened. So she allowed me to have that transformation without the pressure of coaching. And so I felt this sort of feeling of a positivity bubble in the challenge group, and I just wanted more of it. So then I allowed myself to start sharing in the group without the pressure of doing it. She was meeting me where I was. And she kept reminding me outside the group in a private text about the coaching opportunity, but in a really subtle way. She knew my situation. I was running all around town, teaching all these yoga classes, not seeing my kids in the morning because I was having to leave before just all this stuff happening. And she knew that I was not happy doing that job. And then she suddenly one day, not even subtle, she texted me how much she was making in a week, and it totaled up what I made in a month, and it was like $500. And so I was like mind blown. Like I was like, I can do this. There's no difference between us. And this stuff works. She allowed me to feel that it worked. And so I never to this day feel like I'm selling, because I felt like what it did to me. And so she sent me the link to become a coach. Again, I was a jerk that let it stay in purgatory for like a week, and she kept on reminding me. And I signed up when it was like the last day to sign up before my Shakeology dropped so I could get the discount. And I took, as soon as I signed up, it was a hot car in August in Charleston. It's really hot here. And I took action in the moment. I signed up 10 people. I called 10 people and signed up like 8 of them, like that. And I cannot tell you why I did that, but I'm so glad I did, because it taught me to take action in the moment. And it's been the biggest thing I teach my downline from there. And I think it was out of fear. I was scared that I had signed up. I had committed to this, this green box to come to my house every month that I couldn't afford, and I needed to be able to afford it. And it was also born out of fear that I wanted to stop doing what I was doing and be able to create a life that I wanted to create. And I saw this as an opportunity to do that, and saw that in my coach that she was able to do that. And so took action in the moment. And then, they ask you to read personal development, and I reluctantly read that personal development. And I started co-leading a challenge group with her, and I just loved even more being wrapped up in the positivity bubble. I was, engrossed in the team pages. And so this is like 2 months in, like my second month, I hit like SD 78, and it was like, oh my God, because I had a pipeline already of people, and I didn't really have to invite. I just literally turned around and said to my clients, I'm doing this. You'd be crazy not to do this, and signed them up. And so 3 months I hit the freaking wall. I was just posting inconsistently, and whenever I throw up a post, they would just join my challenge group, and that starts to dry up pretty quickly if you're not doing the things to invite. And so I, was leaving work at like 9 o'clock in the morning. I'd been there since 4:30 in the morning, training people, wiping people's sweat. I'd not seen my children that morning, because their dad and my husband had sent them off to school so I could go be at work. And then I went and hopped in traffic to go teach a yoga class across town. And there was a bad car accident, and I couldn't get to the yoga class. So therefore I was missing another $50 that I wasn't going to make for that yoga class, because I had to sub it out in the car. And I was just raging pissed. And then I was just looking at it. I was like pissed at myself that here I had this like beautiful company that has given me a nutrition plan that works. It's given me workout programs that work, and it's given me a business model, but I'm just being a jerk and not listening to it. And it also, I was kind of being a jerk to my team that had just joined, because they were telling me to start to dream bigger, to think about where I wanted to be beyond the 3 months, where I wanted to be the next month, the next year. And I wasn't allowing myself to go there because I was scared. And here I was, universe put a traffic snarl in my way. And I literally, it was like the sign that I have to go home and invite. And so couldn't make the yoga class. And I really sat my tushy down from whenever I got home until my kids got home from school, and invited like a crazy person. And was at SC, I went from SC2 to like SC30 that day. And I was like, well, it works. This inviting thing really does work. And so, I made it, so pumping my well really hard. I made it through the end of the year, still continuing to hit relatively good Success Club numbers. And I was told by, the team that I started in with, to do this thing called Living Your Best Year Ever. Have y'all heard of that? By Darren Hardy? No. I really encourage y'all to get this. It's like a kind of Cosmo way. If you ever do like those Cosmo things that tell you like what kind of fashion person you are, or what kind of like BFF you are, those kind of things. It asks you these questions. I've got mine right here. And like you rate yourself on things. You see that? And I love the simplicity of it. And so it's asking you to rate your life and where you are spiritually, financially, with your job. And so my upline did this, and I was in Success Leaves Clues, and I was like, well, what do I got to lose? And pretty cool that I'm working for a company that wants me to really dream big. And so it got me to set my goals for 2017. And I set a goal to become a 5-star coach by the end of 2017. I didn't even know what the hell that meant. I just was like slapping spaghetti up against the wall and just knew that I needed to be able to grow my income. And it looked like people that had all these stars next to their name or had big incomes. And then it taught me to like put back into my marriage. It taught me all these things to like create balance in my life. And I'm so grateful for that, because every single week I would sit down and do what I was going to do to be able to get to these massive goals in my life, not just work, but massive goals. But the big one was the 5-star thing. And so every single day I was, trying to hit my mark there. You read The Compound Effect with Darren Hardy. He talks about, those little drops a day add up to the big thing, and that you've got to make sure that you're discerning that those little drops are the correct little drops, because it's like a plane taking off in LA. If you're not discerning the drops are right, it'll land in Miami, right? Just from the tiny bit off course. And so I was making these massive goals. I'd gotten really good at inviting. And then when you invite a lot and you start to bring more people on, naturally it starts to turn into builders, right? The more conversations you have, the more opportunity for people to have transformations, the more opportunity people want to start to dream big and have their own success. And so I was building faster than my personal development was teaching me. I can definitely say I was not a good leader in those early days. And I just assumed people would just have the transformation and then would just go and invite. And so I wasn't doing that thing where it's like, this is what I do, and I'm turning around and showing you, which is what a good leader does. And I'm learned more about that. And so I bring on these builders, see where I am in my notes so I don't get out of whack. And so the builders start to do well, and then they start to hit that wall like I did. And I knew that they were hitting the wall, but I didn't necessarily have the skill set to be able to talk them through that wall, or the personal training behind it, or the personal development behind it. And so I started having builders where I could see 5-star like in my horizon in September. I started seeing my builders quit the business. How many people have had people just quit the business that you knew were just gonna go to the moon, right? That y'all are gonna like link arms and go together. Was it devastating? Yes. And so to me, the builders leaving was like the traffic jam 3 months into the business times 1,000,000. And so I am a huge believer that every time you hit a wall, it's like hitting the wall in a workout or a marathon or something. The wall is inevitable. I mean, the wall's there for a reason. And the people that go beyond the wall are the ones that go to the next level, and the ones that hit the wall and stop are not. I mean, and it's so easy to stop. And what keeps you from going to the next level is that you go ahead and imagine yourself on the other side and all the big things that can happen from there. So, back to, what happened in November, I literally, it went from 1 week, I think I'm going to get 5-star, everything is lining up, to crumble and finishing the year at 1-star. And I look back at that time, and the moment it sucked so bad that I look back at that time now, and I'm so grateful because I had gotten signs from the universe about working through the hard and learning that I could be. Have you read the book Grit? You read that book, Grit? Highly recommend that book. It taught me grit. It taught me so much grit. And I'm also so grateful for all those months before where I was really an inviting machine and was hitting high SC numbers. I was still being consistent because the compound effect scares me not to be. Little drops a day. But I wasn't an inviting machine like I was, because that pumping the well so hard until November, when I couldn't pump as hard because I just energetically didn't have it. I still hit SC 18 and 16, I think, those November and December. So when you're feeling it, guys, when you're in a push, don't y'all agree this is a job of seasons of push and flow? And when you're in a season of push, you got to like lean into that push, lean into the hard, because it's going to help you when you are going to hit a wall. It will help you. And so born out of the hard, I'm again, so grateful that I had that every day. Like, I'm working towards 5-star, and this is why I'm working towards 5-star. I'm sure Scotty's done this with y'all. When I remember he came on our team page and he talked about trying to really get to your why, where it's like peeling back the onion, where you talk to a coach and you're like, well, why do you want to be 5-star? Well, why would more money help you? Well, why? You just keep on asking that why, until you get to the root of it. And so what happens is you come up with your real why. Like, I have it right here. The ultimate secret to growth is finding something worth fighting for. It sits here in my office every day. And so my fight every day is my family and not wanting to live like I was before. And I honestly think I would have been divorced if it wasn't for Beachbody, with everything it had done for me. And so that is important for me, to keep this keep this consistency going, even when I don't want to. And so remembering back to my story, where I said that the trust is huge, right? We're health and wellness coaches. Health and wellness is super personal, y'all, and people are super skeptical. I mean, how many freaking fad diets have you seen out there that just crash and burn and don't work? And we are the champions of a lifestyle. We're the champions of longevity. We're the champions of better health across the board. And the only way that people can understand that is that you are consistent with your social media. You're consistent with your inviting. And 9 times out of 10, guys, people don't say yes to the invite. They say yes when they're ready. But you've invited 17,000 times, right? And they've watched you twice that of times. And so are you going to be there when they're ready? And that is what fuels me when I'm hitting those walls. And that is why it could bring me to tears. I'm so grateful that I didn't turn into a wallflower and just hobby at this. And I didn't just step away from the fear of being able to lead women and show them how I do things. And so, and another thing that happened with that whole people quitting back in November, I had I had some social media backlash. Anybody had that yet? No, not yet. It's gonna come. And now I choose to be like, not everybody's cup of tea, right? Not everybody, I'm kind of glad I'm not, that makes you find your people. And so I literally like had my hand on the trigger, like I'm going to cancel my Facebook. That's how much it freaked me out about it back in November. But I'm like, if I had done that, I wouldn't know like 2B mindset, right? I mean, like 2B mindset, are y'all doing that? Freaking changed my life, y'all. I mean, y'all, do y'all have to like run to the bathroom like a fire alarm like 17 times a day? It's horrible. But y'all, I'm leading a group of goosebumps. I'm leading a group right now that lost 280 pounds in 1 week. And 2B mindset. And if I had selfishly quit because it got hard, I hope to think they would do that, but I don't know if they would have done that, And then I think of this coach that I just, from the depths of my soul, that I've been friends with, that knows that she would just kick ass at this. That she would just be the best coach, the best leader. And I invited her consistently, invited, showed up. She watched me consistently. I could see her on my Insta stories, watching me consistently. She's coaching with me. And if I had quit, she's my best friend. We were friends before. Now we're best. We talk every day because we have so much in common and we're all dreaming big together. She's the one I want to travel with and do all these great things with. And I know what it's doing for her marriage and helping her from being in drowning mommy land. And so if I had selfishly quit, she wouldn't be doing this. And now she's in her 3rd month. She's hitting her wall. And I'm so grateful to have what I have gone through to be able to share with her, and then also meet her where she is, stay consistent with my social media, now stay consistent with supporting her to be able to, so she can go through there, and then for her to dream big, because she's going to find her. That's what we all want to do. We all want to find ourselves, right? And so her name's Holly. She's going to find her Holly. Holly is me, and I just, if you're not consistent, and if you hit the wall and you don't go over it, then you're not going to have the 280 pounds lost or whatever victories that you're going to have, and you're not going to be able to be there when your people are ready. So what I encourage y'all to do, I don't know how I'm doing on time. What I encourage y'all to do is write your story. Have y'all written your story out on paper? Like your transformation story. I mean, I invite you to do that, and I invite you to revisit it as often as you can, and think of the things that made you want to do this. Think of what the things that your coach did that attracted you to them, or however it is that you came into this fold. Think of that. And then when you run up against the zillions of excuses as to why people don't want to join your challenge group or join your team or think of all the different excuses you had, right? And talk to yourself like you were then. And so I always, because you get into the bubble of like, why isn't everybody doing this, right? And you forget where you were. For me, it was asshole, jerk, egomaniac, right? And now I'm just so grateful that my friend met me where I was to help I teased it out myself, but she met me where I was in the moment. So find those sort of buzzwords. For me, it was, don't make assumptions to people. Everybody needs this, period. Everybody. Don't forget to post your transformations on social media, and post them often, y'all. You are constantly adding to your network, and I wish that everybody in my network saw my transformation. I post it at least once a week now. Be consistent, because we're in a business where people are super skeptical. And so you have to be there when they're ready, because 9 times out of 10, the inviting and the consistency is priming for when they're ready. You have to be the trusted source for these people. So they're going to want to come to you. You have to meet people where they are when you're talking to them. You need to keep reminding people to come into your fold and to sign up. So when that thing is in purgatory, is if I had kept that thing in purgatory, I wouldn't be where I am right now, both as signing up as a challenger and as a coach. And it was all because my coach was persistent. And they'll thank you for it later. Do y'all have had people that say thank you for reaching out as much as you've had? I mean, I every day I have that now, and it's just longevity in the business, and I want more of that, right? I think that's all. Oh yeah, and the other thing, when you're doing this, go ahead and put yourself there now where you're going to be. Like for me, it was putting myself, retiring from my job that I was just running me ragged. I was going ahead and putting myself there, and I did it. Allow yourself to dream big. I mean, I have my team write their vision out of where they want to see their life, and I have them read that to themselves every day to kind of prime themselves to want to be able to, I'm really into Tony Robbins, to be able to want to sit down and do the hard stuff, right? I went ahead and saw myself on these trips with these magical people that I would see on social media. And like, if you have to print the picture out, I've got a vision board right here. Print the picture out and put it there. Right now I've got on my vision board the home that I want to rent when I make enough money for my family in Nicaragua. I mean, so it's just like these for a vacation. It's just these things, like, go ahead and put yourself there. And then I've got it here. Mine's in a letter. Like, I read it it's like a love letter to myself. I read every day, every morning I sit down. And then, and remember that the hard is a gift, because it's going to help you, help be there, right, when your challengers are ready, and it's going to be the gift for you for when you start to grow your team and they're running against the hard things. I think that's all I had. Did y'all have any questions? I haven't even looked in the chat.
I don't see any questions in the chat. I will say, just to kind of piggyback off of how you ended, I love the idea of putting yourself in that moment that you know, like that dream that you want to become a reality. And I have found that for me, even more so than just thinking about what that thing is, I think about how it's going to feel. And that helps me.
Such a good point.
It helps me stay super connected to it. Cause I think, you know, when you have hit that wall, and when those moments do get really hard, sometimes I just have to close my eyes, and it's more than just that thing I wrote down. I have to like feel it so that I believe it, so that I can keep pushing forward. I thought that was really great advice.
Yeah. And I listened to a call, or Melanie Mitchell was on our team call, and I listened to her one time say that she tells everybody that you're going to reach a point where you want to quit. And I was like, Melanie Mitchell wanted to quit? And it was like, that felt good to me. And that I want to tell that to my people, right? I mean, go ahead and say it so that they're prepared for it, and then let them know that you are completely here. And then also when they hit that wall, and then also being able to say how freaking, like, I could say it with tears in my eyes to some of my people, that I'm so glad I didn't, because we wouldn't be doing this together right now, girl. I mean, this is, and you're going to be here when Holly comes, or when Rebecca comes, you know what I mean? You're going to be here, and you're going to be able to tell this story to them too. And we're all going to be on the beach together drinking margaritas when we do it. Being able to put themselves there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Any questions? Awesome. Well, do you have anything else to add?
I don't. It's a huge honor to be on this call. I think the world of Scotty. I really do. He helped me in a point in my career with this, about getting to my why. And I use that all the time with my team, y'all. Why? I'm like, they're sometimes they're like, oh God, you're going to why me. I'm like, yep.
That is awesome. Well, we appreciate you so much. This was I have like 3 pages of notes here. Such
good
valuable information. So
awesome, y'all.
We all thank you. And on behalf of Scotty, I want to thank you personally. And I guess we'll just go ahead and wrap this up, everybody. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.